We got some fresh details about that upcoming Dungeons and Dragons movie, and even a character breakdown on Chris Pine. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Comic Book Nostalgia. I'm CV Nostalgia, and we have a little update on Dungeons and Dragons. Well, as we said last time, Dungeons and Dragons isn't technically comic books, but they did have a comic book series, and I love it a lot, so we're going to cover it here on this channel. The franchise has seen a couple stumbles in the theaters, but now we've got a pretty big project in the works. Now, before we break down this most recent news, just a reminder for everybody to hit like and press subscribe, and make sure you leave a comment. We're doing a big contest next year, and that comment will get you entered for the prize. Now, we reported about a week ago that Chris Pine is in negotiations to join John Francis Daley's and Jonathan Goldstein's upcoming Dungeons & Dragons movie. Now, this appears well underway, and although we don't have official confirmation from the studio, it appears pretty locked to me. Now, earlier today, we got a very interesting report from the Illuminati. These guys are not WB, but they have hit several home runs in recent months, especially concerning casting details and characters. But, like with anything unofficial, still take it with a grain of salt. Now, in their post earlier today, they do make it pretty clear that not many details are actually known about the film, and it's still being kept tightly under wraps. But they did find out several details about the character that Chris Pine is in negotiations to play. Now, apparently, it is the lead character, and his name is Edgin, who is 30 to 40 years old. He's being described as a down-on-his-luck, and not your classic hero type, but still very lovable. He is comedic, but also has his demons. And humor is going to be a very, very big part of this character. Now, based on these descriptions, I have to agree, there's a lot of parallels here to Peter Quill and Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, a couple of things I would take away from this. The first thing I noticed when they talk about Chris Pine's character is they left out some classic Dungeons & Dragons attributes, specifically his character race, human, elf, gnome, etc., and what type of character he is, or class. Is he a fighter? Is he a rogue? Is he a ranger? Inside the game, class and race are a pretty big part of the character that you build, so I'm wondering if they'll flesh that out a little here. And one of the things the Illuminati do point out is he is likely to be human, since he will be the lead character and will have to connect with the audience, but he very well could be some other classic D&D race. Honestly, using Guardians of the Galaxy as a model for this movie is probably the right choice. Anybody that plays the game knows that comedic aspect that the Guardians had was very similar to gaming. Movies like Guardians of the Galaxy, or even A-Team, do a really great job in that action comedy genre, all while touching some of those aspects that show up often in gaming that are surprising, funny, and might make for some great cinema. The final thing I take away from this breakdown, and from the name of the character, is it appears whoever's developing the film is going to be developing their own cast of characters. If you're familiar with Dungeons & Dragons, you know there has been dozens of novels associated with the game system. We're not talking about game rules, we're talking about stories and adventures of characters. The name of this character is not familiar to me, so it suggests that they're going to be making up all the characters for this world. It means they're unlikely to use some classic characters like Elminster or Drizzt, or even possibly set it in a world like Greyhawk or Dragonland. Now, we don't have a lot of production details about the film. We know that Goldstein and Daley are set to direct, and it should kick off production next year in Belfast, Ireland. So, what do you guys think? Do you like the idea of Chris Pine as the lead for this franchise? And how do you feel about them creating their own characters instead of using some of the classic characters from D&D mythos? Sound off in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you press like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Peace.